So now that Abyss of Darkness has been are you kidding? So in case you didn't know, XN has recently revealed a sequel to Abyss of Darkness, creatively titled Abyss of Darkness 2. Now I'm not going to talk about the decoration too much in this video because it's not finished. I'm going under the assumption that the deco will be basically just like a little bit improved version of AOD 1 or just like a carbon copy, because the finished parts in AOD 2, towards the middle, and the end screen mirror their respective relative places in AOD 1. Also, the level is still mostly a layout and many parts are still not decorated, so these opinions are not final. But first, just a brief history about the level. Abyss of Darkness 2 was first previewed on XN's channel years ago, first previewed in June of 2019. Back then it was just a layout and pretty much died from there. Fast forward through the history of Abyss of Darkness 1, its recent verification by Curse, Steel's Thick, whatever, and XN has been hinting at and previewing the sequel to the unrated Extreme Demon for the past couple weeks. And just this past weekend, a new and improved layout was previewed, with a couple decorated parts. So the original level concept seems to pretty much just be the exact same as the original Abyss of Darkness, but things are different now. Abyss of Darkness was completely revamped, they even messed with the gameplay a little bit, and it's no longer a hacked verification, so I'm pretty sure this Abyss of Darkness 2 will probably be a little different than it was originally intended to be back in 2019. The current concept is pretty much just Abyss of Darkness, but more well made. The gameplay is more sophisticated than in AOD 1, but it is similar in its purpose, to be as difficult as possible. The reason this level will most likely not be top 1 is that it is shorter than AOD, with the same style of gameplay-ish. The reason why it's not 2 minutes long is because the song ends early, oof. And the first one isn't even rated yet, so it's possible it won't even get rated either. However, given that the level has a cleaner history behind it and seems to be being handled with more care than the first Abyss of Darkness, I think it at least stands a little bit more of a chance. I mean, AOD 1 was semi-rushed because everyone thought Dill's Thick was going to verify it, but then he dropped it, so whatever. In terms of the level's gameplay without comparing it to AOD, there's not too much to say. I think it could use a bit more fine-tuning and like balancing and things like that to make sure it's like a fun level instead of being horrible to play. From what I've heard from top players, it's not very fun to play. The first Abyss of Darkness, I mean. But there's not too much for me to judge personally because I can't even beat an insane demon. In terms of difficulty, I hope it isn't forced to be a top 1 so that it can just be whatever difficulty it is now, maybe more balanced. I basically just think that this level could just be a more fun version of Abyss of Darkness. It's like the same level and concept, but just improved in terms of gameplay and decoration. So the best and worst outcomes for this level, in my opinion. The worst is that it becomes a clone of AOD, it's virtually unplayable and doesn't fix anything from the first. Basically, it becomes a ridiculously hard top 1 that Rob doesn't even rate. But the best thing XN and others can do for the level, at least in my opinion, is take their time and focus on making the gameplay at least partially enjoyable, but keeping it top 5 to 10. Silent Circle. Basically expand on the decoration ideas from the first AOD and give it its own ideas to basically balance out the originality and have it be the best possible version of what AOD could have been. Then wait a few years for AP Team to merge the two levels and call it Abyssal Duology or something. By the way, I think APT is great, and I'm glad Trick is verifying it. Seems like it's going to be out soon, finally. I think that the level's lack of originality, being a sequel and all, can be compensated for expanding on the lost potential from the first. Hey, maybe enlist Colic or something. He doesn't have too much to worry about in terms of Orochi. Normal Boy's not touching that level for at least 40 years. Also, it's funny, the only top 1 since Bloodbath to not have a remake or sequel, or be a remake or sequel itself, is... Actually, no, there aren't any. Wow. I could probably turn that into a video. So yep, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for 800 subscribers in advance. So yeah, subscribe please. If you like the video, then like the video. And yeah, that's it.
Ah! I was hiding under your porch because I love you. Can I stay?
No.